Okay, welcome, welcome. Hope you can hear me there. Let's see if we can get all this connected properly. Hi, everybody. Tim Bost here, and welcome to our webinar. I think we have everything connected, but I'm having a little bit of strangeness with the control panel here, so I'm not sure exactly what we're seeing and doing here. I'm going to refresh this screen just one moment here. Bear with me. See if I can get this thing to reload here a moment. Okay. I think we're broadcasting now. I'm a little bit puzzled by some of the indications I'm getting on the screen here. Looks like things are not functioning. I'm not sure what's going on here. What we'll do is begin our presentation and see if others can join us here at some point. All righty. Let's see here. All righty then. We thank you for taking time to join us here this afternoon, and we're glad that people can get in here. We're seeing a little bit of challenges here on the login process. I'm trying to check email and whatnot to see if there are problems that people are encountering. Sometimes we get a little bit bum-puzzled by the technology involved with these kinds of things, so we're doing the best that we can. But I'm not seeing, I've gotten a couple of emails here, folks that had trouble logging on, and I think we got those corrected. So hopefully we're all up and running now, and will be joining us here as we proceed. At any rate, we do want to welcome you to our session here today. We are spending a little bit of time together to talk about some of the dynamics coming up here with our new program, and we wanted to share that with you. And this is really intended to be a private preview of what we're looking at doing with Project Regulus during the coming months here. This is really something that is something that we've been developing here for a couple of months, and we're very, very excited about this program. So we encourage you to share your questions and comments. You should find a little box on the side of your screen there in which you can type in questions and answers. I've been putting in a couple of things here. If you can hear me, can confirm that, that would be great. So that we are sure we're actually communicating here with the system. Sometimes things get a little bit quirky along the way, and so if we are connecting, we'd like to be able to know that. But along the way, whatever questions occur to you, we encourage you to ask those, and we will certainly share those responses as we get to do that. So hopefully that you can join us and chime in with your questions along the way. During this session, we've got several things that we want to touch on here, and our aim is not to make this a marathon, but we want to take enough time to go into depth to probe some of these topics. First of all, we're talking about some of the facts that we've learned about astro trading around the globe. We've been doing a lot of surveying and a lot of corresponding and emailing and engaging in conversations with folks from different parts of the globe who have different kinds of concerns about astro trading, and we're sharing some of those with them. So we want to share some of the results we've gotten to that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what we've gained from that knowledge. And really what we're seeing here are four major barriers to success in astro trading. Those obstacles are what we're concerned about confronting here, and this is what we want to spend our time focusing on today, and with this whole new program that we're talking about here today. And of course, we're talking about an opportunity for positive personal change for you as well. That's kind of the given with all of the programs that we offer. We like to be able to do things that can impact people's lives in positive ways. So that's what this is really all about. And it's also an opportunity for you to help other people in some pretty massive ways as well. We're concerned not only with what benefits that you can gain, but I think we all discover as we progress in our personal development and in our wealth with our the ability to succeed in astro trading, we like to be able to share that benefit with others as well. And so that's part of what we are doing. So that's what we're looking at with this whole program here. And it's the ability to impact you personally, but also to offer you the opportunity to impact others as well. And so that's what we're really all about here. And of course, we're talking about Project Regulus. We say here, news about a breakthrough new program. That's exactly what it is that we're talking about. And we've got a lot in development with that. We want to share with you some of that, so you kind of get a sneak peek behind the scenes as to what we're coming up with, why we're doing what we're doing, how we're structuring this whole thing, so that you get an idea of what this is all about. And then at the close here, of course, we've got a special opportunity for you because you've taken time to join us here today. So sometimes there are situations that occur which can really pay off if we are willing to take a look behind the scenes and have an opportunity to get in on a new thing on the ground floor, so to speak. And that was certainly the case back in 1976. If you happen to be in Los Altos, California, and driving through this residential neighborhood, looks like a pretty calm place there, a well-manicured lawn, and the newspaper of the driveway. But what's going on here of interest is what's happening behind that garage door that you see on the left. And this was the garage door that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were getting together with, and this was actually the birthplace of Apple Computer. Back in 1976, for I think a couple of years, they operated their business out of that garage before becoming a little more successful and moving to larger headquarters. And they certainly made a huge impact with what they started at the time. So the point here is, if you can connect with a new project from the beginning, if you've been able to connect with their company at that time and invest a couple $100 then you probably would have been a multi-millionaire today on that basis alone. But the idea here is that if you can connect with something of value from its inception, the opportunities can really be incredible for you. But if you want to be able to get in early, you sometimes need to take a peek behind closed doors and find out how things really work on the inside. That's what this is really all about here. And what we're talking about, of course, in this process is how we develop and present our information products for better results in astro trading here at financialcyclesweekly.com. There's a lot of stuff that goes on here, and then a lot of the activities that I have include, of course, the analysis of the markets and the forecasting work that we do. We've been featured again this week in Timer Digest. We're now ranked number 5 in our timing on the gold market, as well as ranking number 2 on the long-term stock market timing. So we put a lot of energy into that work, and of course present a lot of that in our weekly newsletter. So we spend a good bit of time each week editing the newsletter, offering advanced services for our students, for our members. At financialcyclesweekly.com, we have our Gold Plus Elite membership program. That's a special program there as well. I also do lectures and guest webinars from time to time. And of course, we're constantly writing new books, new ebooks, putting out new information products in that vein as well. Doing consultations with businesses and with individuals, doing one-on-one coaching sessions and mentoring sessions with people who are working with astro trading or trying to achieve things in the markets. So we're paying attention to that as well. And of course, we spend a good bit of time, or I do personally, in the development and the presentation of a variety of new programs. And we're doing this from time to time, but as we do this, that's exactly why we're having this session here today. Little bit by little, as we develop this new program, we're sharing the information about it. So we have a number of these activities that go on, and there are certain focal points for each of them. When we talk about the analysis, the forecasting, the newsletter, and the services here, that boils down to what we present with Financial Cycles Weekly newsletter. I know some of you are subscribers to the letter and have worked with us in the past in getting those issues and working with that information. We have this available at $499 a year. It includes a weekly section on stocks to watch each week. And then we also have, along with that, our Gold Plus Elite membership program. Those members not only get the newsletter, they also participate in weekly conference calls. We discuss specific trading strategies so that they can get maximum profit for that. That's a $257 a month program, a little over $3,000 a year. To get that extra edge, that extra advantage in the trading dynamic with them. So these weekly services that we offer here are really designed to help active equities traders get the most out of the astro trading advantage. That's what that's really all about here. Then in addition to that, we have the lectures and workshops, the writing and publishing, and what we're doing there with all of these activities, along with the YouTube videos and the blog posts and things of that sort, they're all designed to introduce people who do not have a background in astro trading so that they can understand what this is all about and get kind of tuned in to the advantages that are there for them. Then certainly we provide one-on-one services as well for individuals, for businesses who want to use financial astrology to get ahead to a greater degree. And here these coaching and consulting programs are designed to maximize the opportunities that individuals have and also fine-tune and reinforce the kinds of activities and insights that they need in order to get results over long periods of time. So this is what we're really all about with these coaching and consulting programs. We offer these sessions, or I do personally, at $1,500 an hour is the base rate. Occasionally we'll work with individuals on programs and discount that a little bit, but that's basically what we're doing with the one-on-one dynamic that's available there as well. Then, in addition to that, we not only have the consultations and whatnot there, but we also, as I say, put the focus on development of entirely new programs programs, and this is really what we're focusing on here today. And this is where I've really learned to rely on you and the feedback that I get from members and subscribers and clients and the people that I consult with on a regular basis is of paramount importance here. This is some of the information that's been coming to me. So here's what a lot of you have been telling me over the last month or two, especially as we have approached this question of how to eliminate barriers to success in the markets with astro trading. Some of you have said that I'm afraid that if I trade with astrology, I'll lose too much money in the markets. And that's certainly a widespread concern. Obviously, when you're trading, there is financial risk involved. You can and will lose money from time to time. The question is, how do we keep that within reasonable limits? I need to know exactly when to buy and sell. There's a lot of curiosity, a lot of hesitation about engaging in the markets because of a lack of knowledge. I want to have a secure financial future, so I won't have to worry about it, and then I can get a good night's sleep and make other plans without being obsessed with trying to make money. This is, again, a pretty common motif that we find people expressing a common concern. I know astrology works in the markets, but I'm afraid that I'm going to be the one that makes stupid mistakes. In other words, I've seen it demonstrated how powerful this tool is, but I don't trust myself to be able to understand it and apply it effectively, and that's really what that's all about there as well. And I'm not sure if I'm even cut out to be a trader in the first place, or if I should just focus instead on longer-term investing. This is certainly one of those concerns there as well. I need reliable ways to be able to reduce my risk is certainly another consideration that we take into account here. In other words, if I cannot understand the risks that I am taking in the markets, then I'm almost guaranteed that I'm going to be losing money with my market experience. And that's certainly something that we want to pay attention to there as well. It's, again, a common concern that a lot of people have. So that's why I created recently, a few weeks ago, this free training program that we call Why Financial Astrology Doesn't Always Work. It was designed to address some of these questions and some of these concerns. And if you've not already had a chance to check out that video and get the handouts that go along with that, then I would encourage you to do so. And this is also what has motivated me here to launch a completely new astro trading program. We're going to be unveiling this in its entirety, or in its full form, we should say, on the 16th of June. And what we're doing now is sharing some of the preview information on that. This new program is designed to eliminate all the obstacles to your personal success in astro trading. We're trying to kind of put a nail in the coffin once and for all with all the doubts and hesitations and potential for loss that sometimes comes with that situation. So your questions that you've asked me, and the ones that have been presented during webinars like this, the comments that you've made, the suggestions that you've emailed to me, they've all been a tremendous help, because they've not only helped me get to know you better as you've shared some of your personal stories and experiences, and to understand a whole lot more about what you're looking for, but they've also inspired me to think a whole lot bigger and much more comprehensively with a totally new approach to leading you to complete astro trading success. Now, at this point, we've already put in a couple of months of planning and refinement into this new program. The process is still going on at this point, and with your help, I plan to complete that process so we can, in fact, be ready to launch the new project on June 16th. Now, we're calling this breakthrough new program Project Regulus. I know we've kind of leaked that name out, and I've gotten questions from some of you saying, what the heck is Project Regulus? Wanting to know what that's all about. And so that's what we're trying to address here today. What we're designed to do with Project Regulus is to address what I see as the 4 biggest obstacles or biggest challenges in a success in astro trading. So it's designed to provide 4 key components or ingredients that will ensure your success. We focus on perspective, on know-how, on certainty, and on consistency. These are the things that make the difference between success and failure in astro trading. And so that's why we want to focus on each of these. When we talk about perspective, what we're looking at here are the broader questions and concerns that help put astro trading and the engagement with financial astrology in general into the right framework that matches you individually. The questions that we try to answer there are, how do I know exactly what's right for me? In terms of my finances, in terms of the personal choices that I make. How can astrology help me figure out my long-term financial goals and then move me toward those goals while I can still manage to not only make ends meet, but actually be prosperous on a day-to-day basis along the way as I work toward those goals? That's what a lot of people are concerned about. Should I be trading or should I be investing? Or both? That's largely a distinction of time frame, but it's still very, very important to have that distinction in mind. And then if I am engaged in the markets, which are the best ones for me personally to be involved in? This is a question that we get a lot. And it does vary from individual to individual as to what's most appropriate for your individual involvement. How can I best tap into my personal astrological money cycles? You know, we've got our course on how to find the money in your horoscope, but this kind of feeds into this whole question of perspective. Pardon me. Get a sip of water here. These are some of the concerns that we try to address here, and this is part of why we're designing this program, because what I'm understanding is that a lot of people lack this core component. They simply have kind of vaguely formed pipe dreams of success, and so we would like to help focus those dreams into realistic plans and get real results coming out of that. Then the question of know-how. How can I tell when a trend will turn? This is all about knowing what works and what doesn't work in the markets per se as we move along with them. If you try refreshing the screen there, if you can't see this or hear this, then I don't know if the instructions are going to help. But try logging out and logging back on to the webinar, and that will sometimes clear that browser problem with that. Okay. So the question is, how can I tell if a trend is going to turn? And this is one of the key questions we always ask in the markets. How do we know, whether we're anticipating a shift, moving from a market that's trending up to moving back down, or vice versa? How can I get relevant trading information based on my studies of astrological charts? This is one of the fundamental tools that we use here with astro trading. We look at astrological charts of various sorts, and then we derive from that information that's relevant to the markets and to our trading. And this takes a certain amount of skill, a certain amount of know-how as well. So we want to be able to convey these kinds of pieces to the puzzle during Project Regulus. What are the best ways to combine the knowledge of planetary factors with more conventional kinds of market analysis? How can harmonics boost my profits? We do a lot of work here at Financial Cycles Weekly with planetary harmonics, and we've discovered again and again and again how important they are in terms of deciphering what's really going on in the markets. And so that's a key piece here that we are dealing with in Project Regulus. How can I make sense out of seemingly contradictory astrological indicators? Sometimes we will get things that really seem to be completely contradictory as we look at some of the backtesting and some of the various factors and some of the astrological traditions about what various planetary dynamics mean in the markets. Then it can be very, very confusing. Again, this is a matter of know-how. It's specific information that we're going to be conveying in various ways to help you get your feet on the ground and build the knowledge and the resource base in order to be able to figure things out in the markets for your active engagement there. Certainty is the third big concern that we have, and this is certainly something that we all should pay attention to, because it makes the difference in our ability to trade or not. How can I keep from losing all my money if I get involved in the markets? If I'm having that core doubt, if I'm afraid of losing my money, then it's going to keep me away from trading, and I won't be able to bring in the profits that come with trading. So that's a key piece that we have to deal with there. How do I know if I'm doing the right thing at the right time? And again, it's that questioning of, am I smart enough? Do I know enough? Am I going to make mistakes or not as I proceed in the market? This is part of what we are designed to help eradicate here, this kind of uncertainty. How can I determine which astrological factors are the most important in a trade? Again, we have situations in which we have multiple astrological indicators coming up. And so the question is, how do we keep all of those in line? And so forth, and then and being able to determine the differences there makes a huge distinction. So we want to be able to sort through this kind of information. Then what can I learn from backtesting? We do a lot of backtesting, of practical application of these factors as we work with the markets, and in doing all of this, then we need to be able to sort all that out as well, and be able to bring on a level of certainty in our trading. How do I know the best time for me to exit a trade? Once I'm in a trade, then what's the best time for me to be able to get out of it? And it's easy to buy, but hard to sell. That's especially true if we're taking a loss, by the way. And this is one of the disciplines that we need to have as traders, in knowing when to exit trades that are not as profitable as we would like them to be. And when that's the case, then we need to be able to make those decisions. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there are times when we take profits in the markets, but we need to know what the best timing is for that as well. So we have that dynamic also. Finally, we're concerned with consistency. And how can I make sure that I'm actually using the right trading plan is one of the core questions there. If I have a consistent plan and then actually stick to it, then I can make progress in the markets. What should I be doing when there are wild swings in the markets? We can make all kinds of plans. We can do our projections about what's going on in the markets, but then we can also be overwhelmed by emotion in the moment and throw all of the plans out the window and not adhere to them, and then obviously we do not profit from them when that goes on. And then if I've got both wins and losses in the markets, how can I tell if I'm actually making any progress at all? That's one of those core questions as well. Can I make money from trading without being glued to the computer screen all day? Consistency is one thing, obsessiveness is another, and we like to be able to come up with trading plans that allow us to have a life and take part in other activities besides simply trading as well. So that's one of those considerations. And then finally, how can I learn to follow my own rules? Again, this is the core essence, I think, of consistency. If I have rules, if I have a plan in place, and then actually follow through, it makes a very big difference, and we can see the results of that way. So Project Regulus is designed here to provide answers in all four of these key areas, to address all four of these ingredients that are essential to your success in the markets. The question of perspective, of know-how, of certainty, and consistency. And to do that, we've got really a three-pronged approach with Project Regulus. We're looking at advanced instruction, at regular mentoring, and then face-to-face interaction. Now, with advanced instruction, what we're planning to do here is release a minimum of 6 training modules during the course of the year. Could be as many as 10, but we are looking at a minimum of 6 here, and be releasing them at about 5 or 6 week intervals. Each one of these modules will include multiple video segments, downloadable audios, handouts, and so forth, so that it's a resource that you can use, especially with this know-how component. This is very important to have this core instruction on hand. And that's a key piece of that. The modules, of course, are going to be stored online so that you can go back and refer to them as many times as you like, as often as you like, so that you have a repeated viewing going on. Each module will highlight the specific strategies for analysis or for trading perspectives at different times, or particular timing tools that we're concerned with here. Now, each one of these modules, of these training components that we'll be providing with Project Regulus, is equivalent to some of the kinds of training courses that we've offered in the past, and typically we price those anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500. Some a little more, some a little bit less expensive than that. But essentially, this is the kind of thing that we're looking at. If you've participated in some of our course offerings before, you have an idea of what we're talking about here with these training modules. What's different about this with Project Regulus is that these are designed specifically to enhance your ability to move forward in the markets in a very, very systematic way. Then, secondly, as we talk about these modules, some of the topics that we will be including here will be how to tell when a trend will turn, how to experience the power of the law of vibration, very, very important factor in our trading dynamics, how to avoid losing money in the markets. This is one of those core questions that comes up again and again and again. We'll be giving that a lot of attention. Evaluating hot trading tips astrologically, whether you read something in the Wall Street Journal or whether your cousin says he just learned about a hot new deal that we could be investing in. You need to know how to apply the astrological tools to assess that appropriately. Matching planets to the markets that you're trading is a key thing here, because different planetary energies work with different markets and with different trading entities. So we want to know how that works. So that's some of what we'll be covering in these training modules. Now, the second big component that we're looking at here with Project Regulus is what we're calling the regular mentoring program. The idea here with mentoring is to help with the confidence and the consistency components. That is to say, if you have an opportunity to ask questions and to get to individualized instruction, then this can be very, very powerful in helping you understand how confident you really are. It can give you more confidence. And then with the mentoring, we also have a level of accountability, which makes a difference as well. So these are regular Extra Help conference calls. We're having them twice a month, so you don't have to get on a call every day or even every week, but be able to plug in and check in at a consistent enough basis for it to make a difference. Then each call will last as long as necessary to make sure that all questions are answered, all concerns addressed. I won't have a hard and fast time limit on the call. As long as people have questions that are relevant to the information that we're working with here, then we certainly want to stay on the call to make sure that happens. We get the answers out there. Project Regulus members will get the most if they engage in these calls on a personal level. In other words, if you're live on the line, you can get a lot of dynamic going on. There's a lot of nuance that comes through that. But we are going to be recording these calls. They'll be archived online so that for future reference, you will be able to move right into that material and plug into it. This is important because we work with individuals from a lot of different time zones, and I know we have a number of them represented on this webinar here today. And as we go through all of that, then it's important to be able to accommodate that. Some people simply can't stay up till 3 a.m. in their local time zone to get live on a call. But we are also allowing for questions to be submitted via email. So you can get your individual questions answered on these calls, even if you can't participate in them live. That's the way that we work with our conference call programs here. The one-on-one calls for mentoring. Again, when I'm working on a one-on-one basis with individuals, what we are typically doing are pricing those sessions at $1,500 an hour. But in this case, what we're dealing with are group mentoring calls. Now, that means a couple things. One is that we can offer them much more affordably because we're dealing with a group instead of taking up the time with one-on-one sessions. But at the same time, there's no limit to the amount of individual attention you can get on these calls if you desire that. So you can ask a question, you can ask follow-up questions, you can take as much time as you need to make sure that you get the guidance you want, and it's available there twice a month in these follow-up calls. The mentoring calls, again, are designed to enhance your focus on the material and also to improve the accountability. If you're applying the information, then you're going to get the results. If you're not applying it, you won't get the results. And if the calls are there and providing a reminder to you to come back to the material and focus on it, then you're much more likely to apply it, much more likely to get the results, much more likely to be happy with the outcome there. The calls can be used to discuss any material that we include in the course, and we can also use the calls to talk about current market conditions. So basically anything's fair game there. You can also use the calls to review individual trading plans. If you're facing particular monetary challenges, then that's a topic that can be introduced into the call situation as well. And then any topic that's relating to astrology or trading is certainly fair game. We probably will not talk about soccer scores or recipes, but other than that, just about anything. And we may sneak those in too. So finally, the third component that we have with Project Regulus is face-to-face interaction. I think it's very, very important to offer an opportunity for you to meet other members of Project Regulus and to be able to connect face-to-face with other financial astrologers, other astro traders. And so we're going to invite Project Regulus members to attend without charge our first Heart of the Lion Astro Trading Symposium. The exact date is not set yet. We're looking at the summer of 2016. This is going to be an opportunity for you to really gain a lot of extra insight and momentum. Now with this Astro Trading Symposium, what we're going to do is provide an opportunity for you to get the latest knowledge, the latest techniques that we're working on with astro trading. You can meet other astro traders and have an opportunity to learn from them as well. You can explore some new opportunities for financial astrology. We're always trying to break new ground, and we'll be talking about that during that event as well. And overall, an opportunity to connect with what's going on the cutting edge, the people, the trends, the dynamics that are shifting the use of astrology in the financial markets. Now, we're going to open Heart of the Lion Astro Trading Symposium to the public at large. And when we do so, I'm anticipating the registration will be around the $1,000 price point. I put $995 here, but that's approximately what we're looking at. Of course, the members of Project Regulus will get to attend without paying that registration fee. This is included in Project Regulus. So it does give you an extra advantage there as well. So from start to finish, what we're looking at with Project Regulus is something that's designed to provide a lot of value for you. There's more financial power for you individually, give you more confidence in the markets, give you some advanced knowledge, advanced training to be more successful in your finances and in general in the markets, specifically, of course, personal success accountability. The mentoring calls can help you have some checkpoints to be accountable and make sure that you succeed. Richer astrological understanding goes without saying. We're going to be revealing a lot of important knowledge there. Higher profits in your trading and reduced losses. That's kind of the be-all and end-all of what we're after with this program. A clear path for you to achieve financial independence if you have not done so already. And of course, expanded personal growth. This is about changing you in positive ways as well as changing the outcomes that you experience. This is more than just getting knowledge. It's about opening up a lot of internal resources as well. So here's what we're looking at with this program, and it's kind of hard to put a price on something like this because it is far larger, far more comprehensive than anything that we've done before, but just comparing it to some of the other things that we've done in the past. 6 training modules. This is, again, is the minimum. There'll probably be more than that during the course of the year, but the minimum value here is about $1,500 a piece, or I put it down $8,800 or $982 for the training modules if you were to get those separately. The mentoring calls, if you're doing it one-on-one with me and paying $1,500 a piece, those 24 calls would add up to $36,000. Then, of course, the registration for the symposium as well, an additional $995. So the total value of all of this, if you add it all together and put a price tag on it, is $45,977. But we're not going to try to put that price tag on it, even though that is, I think, a very true assessment of the value, at least in terms of comparable things that we've offered in the past. And even though this is bigger and more innovative than anything that we've ever been able to offer before, my personal commitment is to helping you succeed in astro trading, and that's really what this is all about. Now, the only way that's going to happen is if you participate in this program, and so the main aim here is to not have a huge price tag become a barrier to participation. So what we're looking at is a year-long program with a massive amount of value attached to that, a lot of things that we've not been able to offer before, but we want to be clear that we're not going to price it out of range here. This is what we're looking at is definitely, you know, not the $46,000 price tag. And what we plan to do as we launch this program on the 16th of June is offer, you know, a discount of roughly 90% from that price, you know, give or take. You know, we're looking at making it very, very affordable in terms of the actual value that's attached to this program. So here's the way we'll be offering this here on the 16th of June. You will have an option of making one payment of $49.97, which is the money-saving option there, or you can do a payment plan of $897 for 6 months at 30-day intervals. For some people, it's important to be able to space that out a little bit. Of course, the program here is a little bit cheaper if you do the one payment as opposed to the 6 payment plan. But as I say, we're opening the doors for registration on the 16th of June with this program. We wanted you to know in advance what it's about, what the pricing is going to be on this, because we want to make that available at that time and have a lot of understanding about what it is and what its real value is at that time. But in addition to that, we're opening up a special program here for 25 individuals. Now, this is open only to those who join prior to the official launch on the 16th of June. And if you're one of the first 25 participants, you have an opportunity to become a charter member of Project Regulus. Now, what this means is that you'll enjoy all of the benefits of regular members get. The 6 training modules, the mentoring calls, the symposium registration, and then as a charter member, you get some bonuses as well. You'll get a bonus 1-year subscription to the Financial Cycles weekly newsletter. That's valued at $499. That will come every week in your email inbox, and so you'll get that as well, and certainly I'm not going to limit it to that. You'll also get a free full year of the Gold Plus Elite membership as well. Now, what this does is include not only the newsletter, but you get full access to the members-only area of the website. We have trading charts that we put up each week showing the planetary harmonics that are involved in the trades that we're considering for each week. You'll get access to the weekly trading strategy conference calls, and that Gold Plus Elite membership, again, is a little over $3,000 value, and we add that to all the other benefits of Project Regulus if you become a charter member. And then there's an additional factor here that's, I don't know how to put a monetary value on it, but I think it's extremely important. As a charter member of Project Regulus, you'll also have a seat as an honored advisory member on our exclusive Project Regulus Curriculum Council. Now, these seats on the Curriculum Council are not going to be open to anyone who's a regular member of the program. It's only open to the charter members, and again, we're limiting that to 25 charter members, as soon as we sell out those, then we won't enroll any more. So we're trying to keep this to be a reasonably small group. The Curriculum Council is there designed to help us develop all of the components of Project Regulus. In other words, we've got a lot on the books already, a lot of planning that's been done. Materials are already underway and in production, but the task is not finished yet, and we want to make sure that what we're doing works for you. And so you get a tremendous amount of extra input as a charter member. The Project Regulus Curriculum Council will be reviewing and evaluating the current instruction. As we issue these training modules, we'll be calling on the Curriculum Council to look them over and say, hey, here's what you complete, here's what needs to be changed, here's how we can improve that, so that we can continue to refine what we're producing and presenting. There'll be an opportunity to beta test some new training modules so that you get kind of an early look at some of the components of them to kind of kick the tires and make sure they're working properly before we release them to the full membership. So that's a key part there as well. Provide guidance and suggestions along the way, and act as a resource as we develop future directions. Part of what we're looking at here is relying on our charter members and our Curriculum Council to help us develop not just the symposium next year, but also directions that come after that as well. And we'll be taking time to engage in that process also. So it's truly a remarkable opportunity, I think, to have that kind of first-hand involvement with it. Now, there is just one catch to all this. I mean, there's always got to be a catch, right? If you want to become a charter member of Project Regulus. I mean, what we're doing with the charter membership is putting on a lot of extra value on top of what we are estimating as the $46,000 worth of value in the overall program. It's available for just $5,000 price point there. But the catch is this: there are only 25 charter member spots available altogether. And I have to tell you that we first began mentioning this a couple of weeks ago. We've had a number of people already sign up as charter members, and we have not had our initial meeting of the Curriculum Council yet, but we'll be doing that within the next 10 days or so. So we plan to start engaging people in this process very, very soon here. We do have a few slots open at this point, but we are putting a cap on it at 25. And so this is not something we encourage you to wait on if this is of interest to you. And again, we're opening the doors for the registration on the 16th of June. But right now, what we've just started doing over this past week is letting our email subscribers, we've got about 6,000 email subscribers, know about the existence of Project Regulus, and letting them know about the availability of the charter membership program for those that want to sign up early for Project Regulus. Now, at this point, we're just kind of getting a toe in the water with that process. But what's going on here is that we'll be continuing to let our list know about this and be promoting it in other venues as well. And as long as this is going on, I'm telling everybody we talk to that they can become charter members. And what we're doing here is not charging the charter members the regular $49.97 price. It's only $19.97 for the charter membership. Now, this lasts as long as there are still some slots available. And as I say, we have already placed a number of people in these slots. We do still have some that are open at this point. And that's why I'm sharing this information with you here today, because with the charter membership, you not only get all the extra benefit, you also get a price break that's unlike anything else you'll see with this program. And that's quite honestly why we're limiting it to 25 people. In other words, the remaining charter membership spots are starting to fill up, and they're going to be filling up very, very fast. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We want to get the engagement of people in this process with the curriculum committee so that we can get some live input into what we're doing as we develop it. So that offer of the 1997 charter membership program is going to continue to be made available to the public as long as we have places open. As soon as we fill up slot number 25, that offer goes away. It may last until the 16th of June, but probably not. I think we'll probably fill up well before that. But the aim here is not to have you wait, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to have this webinar here today. We want to make this available to you right now as well. So with the charter membership, you get the training modules, the mentoring calls, the symposium registration, the subscription to the newsletter for a year, the Gold Plus Elite membership program, and of course the priceless spot on the curriculum council as well. Now, we're going to take a moment. I'm going to check and see if more questions have come in here. But first, let's kind of recap this ground floor opportunity that we're talking about here, because this is really what we're here to focus on. The fact is, this is a program in which the value is going to increase over time. And so this opportunity to engage at this point means that you get increasing value as well. So again, we have the training modules with an $8,900 value, the mentoring calls, $36,000 value, the symposium registration, the year's subscription to the newsletter, the one-year Gold Plus Elite membership program. If you are a part of the Project Regulus charter membership, you get that for free as well. And of course, the advisory seat on the Curriculum Council. So we've got these 25 spots available at 1997, and that's the total number that we've offered there. So we'll open this up for questions now, and we've got the question panel here. At this point, I've not seen anybody making any comments online, which has me suspect that we might have had a glitch in the webinar service, but we wanted to make sure that we were offering this to those who did get connected, even if I'm not seeing everything on my end here that I think I should be seeing. But at any rate, we'll open this up. I'm going to investigate for a moment or two to see if we can find questions here. If so, we'll be sure to answer them. And write down this web address. It's vibrationcode.com/charter. We'll get you the information on the charter membership and take you to the place where you can sign up for that. Remember that we do have the places available for that, but only kind of while supplies last. And when we run out of those 25 slots, then we will be closing that down. And we've still got a month yet before we officially open the doors on this new program. So I would not presume that you can wait until the middle of June and expect to become a charter member. Certainly welcome anybody who wants to join the program, and we hope to have a lot of people joining the program at that point, but that will be at the $49.97 price point at that point, and will not include the membership bonuses or the participation in the Curriculum Council. So you can join us now as a charter member. Go to vibrationcode.com/charter. Now let me see here, and if I can identify any questions or what's going on with this. Refresh this page up here, maybe show me something. I'm a little puzzled about why I'm not seeing any access here at all on this monitor. And it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So what we're going to do is leave the webinar open for just a moment here. We're going to get out of this screen. Let's see. I'll continue to share the screen as I fool around with trying to find the let's see. Bear with me for one moment here if you want to answer them. But finding things here sometimes is problematical as well. I refresh this page or something. All right. Well then, seems to be going on here is that we I'm not seeing any questions that have come in online, so we're not positive about the connections here. We're trying to record here, and we'll see if that worked. If not, we'll try to produce a recorded version of this to make sure that you can get to it. If you've had problems, my apologies. But if you are with us and do have questions and want to email them to me, send an email to tim@timboss.com, and we're glad to answer them there. Let's see here. All right, we're going to stop this broadcast here and see if we can end this webinar and deal with your questions.